Ladies and gentlemen, December 23rd, 2021, 2 nights before Christmas or as my kids say, 2 more sleeps, and then it's Christmas. It's the podcast, What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi. Lots to get over this week, lots to talk about. I may be a porn star, but there is a lot to be debated on that. The Bills are in a must-win situation this weekend. Lucas Hurl may have COVID. We may be in the middle of a COVID battle. Let's start there. Lucas, how do you feel? Tell us what happened. Tell us why and where you think you got COVID from.
Okay, so I think I got it from a store, the Comedy Store. A lot of people.
It's not a regular store. It's not a regular store. It should be not even classified in the same thing. Regular stores have people there that get, work there, they get tested a lot and have, lives that are more conducive to working at a major store. These people are vagrants that work at the Comedy Store and degenerates. Therefore, their lives are loose. So yes, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. And so it's been going around there, but also everybody seems to be catching this new variant. We get tested every day too. So the last time I was tested was probably 3 days ago and I tested negative. But then the next day, just a bad cold. I can smell, thank God. I mean, that's the symptom that would really drive me crazy, is not being able to taste.
Yeah, I heard Omicron's you don't lose the taste or the smell, but everything else just sort of sucks.
Yeah. And I was telling Steve before the podcast, like Travis Kelce and Mahomes were at the store on Friday night. And so I got to go in the main room and I'm just sneaking a peek, and see them get out of their cars and shit. And, they're maskless. And so on Monday morning, when Kelce is on the COVID list, I'm like, and I'm feeling like shit. I'm like, oh God. and then slowly a few other of our acquaintances that we know have gotten it. So I think we all got the same strain.
So essentially Travis Kelce came here, not only broke the hearts of the Chargers in Los Angeles, but then continued to just pass around the pandemic virus to everyone he can come in contact with. Is that what you're telling us right now?
Let's get Adam Schefter on the podcast. This is breaking. Yeah. Travis Kelce breaking COVID protocols to go have some laughs.
Well, he didn't break COVID protocols.
I saw pictures.
Yeah.
Him and Brian
maybe he did.
together.
Maybe he did. Yes, he did. He did break protocols.
Many protocols.
They're playing for the top seed, and he's going out having a good time during peak COVID, man.
Now, my question is this: if all the cards work in your favor, and the Bills happen to end up playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, are all of a sudden the week of photos going to be leaked of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes clearly thumbing their noses up at the protocols, brand new, instilled by Commissioner Goodell, all for our safety. And not only did they infect our friend, they cost them their Christmas vacations. Nobody got to go home and spend holidays with their family. Travis Kelce did. And there's no way Andrew Santino doesn't have COVID too, because I saw them in a golf cart together the next day and they were tongue kissing. So if I'm just telling you, this guy's loose, this Kelce. He's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
And it could play in your favor.
No,
if he gets suspended for a week.
No, there will be a bidding war between Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter.
Absolutely.
I will raise the price up. Yes, that's a good idea. Whatever helps the Bills.
You're going to need it.
And if the Bills, I will say, Steve, if the Bills are going to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, which will likely happen, I, for one, propose that we put on a free indoor comedy show for Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs. We will work free of charge. We will not charge them, and it will be great. And it's just to get their morale up right before the big game. This could be your
version of Michael Jordan and in Salt Lake City with the poison pizza the night before Game 6. This is your version of that. You guys could take out. This could be, you take out the one of the arguably the best player on the team, best weapon, because Tyreek Hill's in the COVID protocol now. So, Kelce's, if you can get him suspended for the AFC Championship game, well, Come on now. Come on. That's going to be big for you guys. So you feel better? Do you feel okay? Have you gotten tested?
I'm going to get tested today. I thought I'd feel better. It's been a few days of just kind of blah, but I'll kick this. I'll be fine. One other thing that I think is pretty funny, and this could get me in trouble, so don't get this spread around outside the podcast. The person who was checking to see if people had COVID at the Comedy Store, the head.
Yes.
The
Can I guess? Wait, can I guess?
Yes.
Did they have COVID themselves?
They had COVID.
Yes.
They were patient zero.
Oh,
Dude,
boy.
Everyone you know has it. Everyone you know will have it or
Steve,
will
I
get
don't
it.
have it. I tested negative yesterday.
Look, I'm going to get tested. Joe Liston and I were talking at the stand today. I'm like, have you ever had it? He's like, no. And I'm like, I kind of feel terrible that I've never. I'm like, what's wrong with me? What am I? Like a pussy that I can't get through this thing? Like, I don't understand it. Or maybe it's just that
you're
I'm
the
not
strongest. You're the strongest. That's what it boils down to.
My wife thinks I was crazy to get both shots, and just my arms were sore and I was a little tired the next day. But other than that, I felt great. And I've never gotten
but Steve, you shouldn't have gotten both shots at the same time.
Who gives a fuck, dude? I was at SantaCon the weekend before. I went to SantaCon that weekend in the city. I didn't go, but I was in the city and I saw all those fucking drunks walking around, bumping into each other, arguing, tongue kissing each other, and I was like, oh, thank God I'm fully guarded right now. There's not going to be any more. Christmas is going to, I guarantee you Christmas, at least 4 of these primetime games in the NBA and or the NFL get canceled or moved. We're going to be watching probably some shit games on Christmas.
Yeah. Hockey's already taken a hit, and based on what the Canadian government does, we might lose the season because you can't travel across the border. So they're shut down. Basketball, they've already had multiple teams. Yesterday, there were a couple of teams that didn't have the required 8 players to have a game. So we've had games.
The Nets
lost.
don't have it. Yep. The Nets it's like the Celtics signed a 40-year-old man who played for them 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that's
he
where
hasn't
we are.
since the 2018 playoffs. Signed him off the street. So it's getting interesting. The odds of games being canceled and pushed in the NFL are highly likely, especially now that you're going to have matchups with teams where the games don't matter. So as long as they figure out that the players will get paid, because that's what they were saying. The reason they moved games last week instead of just canceling them was players wouldn't get paid if they had been canceled. So if they figure that out, we're going to lose a lot of games. Which
leads me to my point in the fact that I think that we can all agree that this year has been a complete shit show, and all fantasy bets should be null and void and off the table because it's been a nightmare and no one's been able to
Your team was not affected one iota. We can go week by week. You have not had a player miss because of COVID. You have not had a player miss because of COVID, Steve. Injuries don't count. Everyone has injuries. You've not had a player miss.
What about the game that I had 4 offensive weapons going into a game where they threw out historic wins, biblical wins?
What about that game, Steve?
I got 4 points. I lost by like a point. I should have won by 65 points.
Okay, the elf voice did come out. You said you weren't going to do the elf voice. The elf voice is out.
I've been a good person this week. I do not deserve this. I've done good deeds. I've been good to people. You want to know something, by the way? Here's a little update for you, a little Steve update for you. Okay. I think we can all agree now that obviously I did not win the lottery in Canada. There was some sort of mistake and something. We all knew kind of, but I just wanted to be, completely. So, and I think what happened was someone was trying to scam. We've seen these things before with the Instagram account getting hacked. So yesterday I'm going through my Instagram account and I get a new message from who? Our good friend of the podcast, friend of all ours, Joe Bartnick. Hey, Steve. Now, I just talked to Joe last week via Instagram.
I got the same thing, by the way.
You know what I'm talking about.
Should I feel bad that I didn't get the message from him, but I had 3 people hit me up asking if he was okay financially?
Well, Joe Bartnick wrote me. He goes, hey, man, what's going on? I got to pay this guy back via Venmo and I hit my limit. Can you shoot me some cash? And immediately Immediately, either the Catholic, kind, good, Christmas spirit person immediately was like, how much do you need? I started I started typing out how much do you need? I go, wait a minute. I go, sure. How much do you need? I wrote that to him. I go, but first, tell me the name of ready for this? Tell me the name of the burger place we ate at late this past summer. Oh, well, you'll never guess this. I didn't hear a fucking word back from Joe Bartnick after that.
Mhm.
Because you know what? It wasn't Joe Bartnick.
No.
Somebody else hacked his account and was trying to get money out of all his friends. And you know what? They picked the right fucking person because I guarantee everyone was lining up to help out Joe Bartnick. I would have given him as much money as I could have afforded yesterday because I love Joe Bartnick. But I texted him too on top of that. And I wanted to make sure, he was really, he wasn't like on the side of the road, like, how come nobody's helping me? There's still that part that believes that this is a really not, this is Joe. So anyway, I am getting better. I am learning. So I'm just saying, okay, as far as like crazy shit happening, yes, people are getting scammed. You've constantly got to be on the, on the lookout. So that's why I don't have really time. And plus this year, I'm pulling a flag out, flag on the play. Football, when I signed up to play fantasy football, the motherfucking game was played on Sundays and Mondays, okay? Sundays and Mondays. Do you understand? I have other things in my life. Contrary to your fucking existence, Bill Combe, I've got other things on my plate besides wine and which fantasy game I'm going to play this weekend. I have other things. Lucas has other things. He's trying to dodge fucking diseases and, and figure out how he's going to make his money this week because we can't win a fucking game for him. That's another point. We'll get to that later on. But I don't have time for Tuesdays at noon games and Thursday games and Saturday games and fucking games on Mondays at 4 p.m. What the fuck, man? I can't do this, okay? So I don't want to hear about I now have to put a video up on Pornhub.
Hang on
Whose idea was that?
Hang on. That was your idea. First of all, it was your idea. Secondly, this is the first week in a 16-week session where we've had these games flexed. You were already in dead last place with the lowest point total.
No, only because
you wouldn't have had Ricky Seals-Jones, your tight end. Are you stress smoking right now? You wouldn't have had Ricky Seals-Jones on Sunday. You wouldn't have had a tight end. Thanks to Tuesday, you at least had a chance to get some points out of your tight end spot. You lost badly, okay? And now you're wearing the Bowser hat of shame.
Do you know
and
what
you got to pay the price.
Comedy Store pod. Do you know what I came in the comedy? I was 1-13.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know if my name wasn't on the wall, they would have kicked me out.
Yeah, so it sounds like
if I didn't have such a strong roots in that place, they would have easily kicked me out.
It sounds like
this guy was on a TV show about this.
It's not.
I don't want to hear it, dude.
It's you.
It's not. No, it was this season, dude. All of it connects.
You're just not very good at fantasy football.
I am. You know what? I'm good at the game I learned how to play, not the fucking newfangled game where you have to make sure every goddamn guy is not beating up a woman or out getting his dick sucked and getting COVID. I don't understand this. I do not want to be tethered to a waiver wire. I am not Adam Schefter. I do not have this time.
Steve, if you were on Twitter, you would know.
Fuck Twitter, man. Fuck it. Are you kidding me? I'm going to go sign up for Twitter again. I think my account's still up. People have probably... Do you know people are probably fighting with me? I've had many, many hours of arguments with a person that I don't even, I'm not even there to see. Like they're probably like, you're not fucking answering back, you piece of shit, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
I've angered people.
About the NFL games being flexed too, we got to get used to this because I was reading an article a couple days ago on NBC Sports about how we very well could have Tuesday games, a Wednesday game, 2 Monday games because of this whole, this precedent set, and also because of gambling, because it's more nights to gamble and more games.
It's ratings, it's money. Why
and
have
now you have
12 games at the same time?
Amazon, it's not like you're dealing with just a couple networks that are like, well, where are we going to put The Bold and the Beautiful? It's been on for 50 fucking years. Amazon, all these other streaming services, like, we don't give a shit what we play. No, we don't have a schedule. We'll air a live game at 4:00 in the morning on a Tuesday. Who gives a shit? People will come in and watch.
I'll watch.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, today's the first day we haven't had football in many days, and it's kind of sad.
Lucas, you got to get on ivermectin, and I'm not fucking around, dude. I'm being serious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Text
my
Ari.
Trumper stepmom in Iowa has like a whole cabinet full of it because when Trump was touting it, she bought up.
I know this is an unpopular thing to say, whatever, but I know, like, as soon as Ari got it, he called fucking Rogan, and Rogan told him, dude, get on this shit. And he was like, fine in 2 days. Tested like negative in 2 days. So don't start writing in. People already are bitching about, oh, you guys are inconsistent. Oh, is your free fucking podcast not coming consistently enough for you?
Yeah, we got sick, guys.
This guy's got COVID. And
We're human.
I got boosters. I couldn't lift my arms to get the microphone up. And then last week, I
should've
apologize
gotten
for
2 shots.
I know. I should have got one of those Janet Jackson ones. I looked like the next day. I was like, look, where was I before we got off on this tangent?
You were telling Lucas to put experimental drugs in his body to feel better.
Absolutely do that. And don't write me about how it's wrong. I don't want to hear it. It worked for Ari. So I've seen visual evidence of a Jewish person who is and I told you before, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? Here's how I know that all of the vaccines are not poison. Because Israel's giving it to their people. And Israelis would never harm their own people, okay? Never. They would never do it. Never. They've been through so much. They've taken care. They only have each other. So they would never do this to each other. So if Israel didn't give it to their people, I wouldn't take it either. That's my point. That's the only thing I'm going by. Everyone else, any other point you make goes in this year and right out the other. That's it. So don't write me about ivermectin, but you should take it because I think it works 100%. And if I get it, I'm taking it. So if we'll die together.
Jesus.
What else? Where were we before that?
I'm
not okay. Yeah, so I know where we are. I'm not dealing with the ramifications of coming in last place this year. This is an asterisk year.
This is such a cop-out. No, this is such a cop-out. You were the one who came up with the thing 16 weeks ago. Oh, this will be funny because I'm not coming in last place. And here we are 16 weeks later and you're going, well, that didn't really count. I had a shot, but I wasn't good. So I'm just going to say COVID. The players played the game, Steve. You got to play the game.
What players?
All
Dudes
the players
that are signed from other practice teams are playing quarterback for professional teams. They don't know the names of the other players. They're introducing each other in the fucking huddle.
That's played the game,
I have
Steve.
to bet on that.
Still played the game.
Oh, okay. They received my COVID tests are in. Holy shit! I just got a text message.
Oh yeah.
He's recording off his phone, so his eyes are just lit up right now.
The COVID tests are in. By the way, the funniest thing I heard all weekend, and you said it, I have to give credit where credit is due, is, first of all, let me put this in context. It was not funny, the situation that happened, but it was the Chiefs and the Chargers and Chiefs on Thursday night, second play of the game. I can't remember his name, but he caught the touchdown, then dropped it.
Donald Parham, who is doing well. Fortunately.
Thank God, doing well, but because in that moment, it looked like he was near death. It was very scary. It was like that kind of seizure. It looked like he was having a seizure, but when your arms are up, like, you know, when a guy gets knocked out, like fucking Tyrone Woodley this weekend, and your arms go up in the air. It's like that. But it was very, very scary. And then Joe Buck, who I like Joe Buck. I mean, I like the fact that he was losing his hair. He felt like, he was very vulnerable. So he got fucking implants and it almost blew out. The only thing that makes him money is fucking voice. I love how Joe Buck thought he was like gorgeous. And we were like, oh, if Joe Buck loses his hair, what are we going to jerk off to now? Give me a break. So Joe Buck says, and he goes, well, and this is coming out after the commercial. He says, this isn't like a spur of the moment.
They zoom in on Parham and they're carting him off, and he's like having a seizure on the cart.
Yeah. And he goes, I've been getting text messages, and I just want you to know that, it's cold. It's cold for Los Angeles standards, which, by the way, I think was like 56 degrees.
Yeah.
So that could have been the cause of him shaking, which I was like, what the fuck did he just say? Not since he said that, like, when the Giants snapped Dak Prescott's ankle in half, and I think Rome was like, he'll be able to walk that off or something like that. It was something terrible like that. Have I heard? And Biddlecombe texts in our little chain. He goes, man, it was like, what if I put a sweater on him, he would be able to get back into the game? That is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. The man was horrifically injured.
He thought, we didn't know if he was going to be able to walk again. Like, he looked like he was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And that was clear to anyone with eyes that he was paralyzed. And Joe was going, nuts. It's still a little chilly down there. Let's turn the heat up.
You guys talk for a second. I want to tell Tracy something. Go ahead.
But I will say, hindsight's 20/20, but the whole thing with analytics in football is bullshit. And the Chargers should have won that game. But because they look at analytics and they go, okay, the Chiefs are likely going to score every time they get the ball. We need to go for, they're 4th and goal. And instead of taking the 3 points, let's go for it, which analytics tell you to do that against the Chiefs. But if they just kick the field goal, and then you see how the game plays out, you see the Chiefs aren't really moving the ball like they have been, and you are stopping them. Your defense is playing well. You get the points. And then if the Chiefs do turn it on, then I think they went for it on 4th down like 4 times that game. You can go for it later on when you see how the momentum of the game is going. But to do that on the very first drive and not just take the points was foolish. And they end up losing because they didn't just take the points.
Which game is this?
The Chargers Chiefs. I think analytics are bullshit. And it doesn't factor in for game momentum and what's happening in the now. Because they should have, that was the first drive of the game, Steve. So they kick the field goal and they take the points. Then you see how your defense is playing versus how the Chiefs offense is playing, which the Chiefs offense up until the 4th quarter in overtime was dog shit. So if you just take the points when you take the points, you're not going to overtime. You're winning the game outright.
You got to think about
they went for 4th, but they went for 4th down 4 times that game. And they could have, the other 3, I get it, but the first drive, just take the points. See how the other team's playing.
I think that the analytics thing is flawed in football in the sense that, a numbers-based system is based on like something happening 1,000 times, 1,000 times or 100 times or whatever. This is the probability of this shit happening. And for baseball, you play 162 games. Basketball, it works. Even hockey, it works. Mm-hmm. Football right now is 17 games, So it's really, it's not a big, pool to draw from. So you have to you have to use it for certain things, but most times I feel like if you go with your gut in football, like I have no problem with what Harbaugh did, regardless of what the numbers say. I mean, maybe
Justin Tucker is your best player on offense. Justin Tucker is the best player you have. Use him and go to overtime and see what happens. I get that you've lost players on defense, but obviously it hasn't worked. And the momentum of a game is not factored into analytics, and the momentum of how teams are playing. Like if you looked at analytics just on paper, you'd go, okay, it's the Chiefs. So yeah, we have to go for it on 4th down because it's the Chiefs. But if you look at the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season, their offense has been awful. So why would you go off of something that's based on 3 years of things when you can look at the last few weeks of momentum and go, okay, maybe we don't need to have a touchdown every drive because Mahomes is struggling and Kelsey hasn't done anything and Hill has been mediocre.
I get that. For the Chargers, I get that. But for John Harbaugh, who I think is, he's proven that he is a good decision maker as far as the team trusts him. I don't really love the play call, but I don't know if that was him. But I like the fact that it is like, I'm going to take one shot right now, knowing that if I lose the coin toss, the other team come down and get a field goal or probably even worse, a touchdown. And I'd rather take one shot right now. It's almost like, hey, do you want to do a coin toss? You want to do best out of 5 or you want to do best out of 1? It's like, I'd rather just do best out of 1. Let's just fucking run this thing one time, one play to see who wins this thing. I'm not saying I would do that for my whole season. And I don't know if he did do it for his whole season. I doubt it. I think they make it
twice now. He's done it
He's
twice,
done it,
and they've
and
run
he's
the
lost both
same.
times.
Yeah, he's run the same exact play where it's roll to the right, cut the field into a very small portion, and Mark Andrews is your only target. So it hasn't been. I say just let Justin
I'm
Tucker
not saying I love the
kick the
play
extra
call.
point. He's not going to miss. The guy doesn't miss.
I'm not saying I love the play call. I'm just saying I like the actual going for it aspect of it. You know, I know it hasn't worked out both times, and I don't think it's going to cost them their season.
No, but they could be 10-4 right now instead of 8-6 and playing the Bengals for first place.
Yeah, but really, you don't. I mean, only the first place team in each division is going to get a bye. So it's like, I mean, I like
only one team gets a bye.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to be that team. So I'm playing week 1 regardless.
But they could have been if they had gone to overtime and won those games. They'd be the best team in the AFC right now. They'd be the first seed.
Yes, I see what you're saying there. I mean, maybe
Justin Tucker has been the best player on that team.
I know
Lamar Jackson gets all of the accolades, but Justin Tucker is your top point scorer for the last decade, and you're taking him off the field. I think if he has any other kicker, then
but Justin Tucker can't score a touchdown, Brenton. Justin Tucker can't score a touchdown.
But
and to win the football
game, moving you forward to give you opportunities to win.
Yeah, but to win the football game, I'm probably going to need a touchdown at some point. If we keep trading field goals, we're going to end up in a tie. So I know what you're saying, but I think that it's look. I like the call. I like the call because I think
I would like the call if he has a better play from 2 yards out.
No,
they haven't. You got to figure that out. If you're going to run a play.
The only thing clever about that was running the exact same play that you ran on the same situation a couple weeks ago. And you wouldn't think that they would do that because you're like, oh, well, they're not going to do that again. Obviously, they wouldn't run the same play again. And they don't have Lamar Jackson back there, which they had the first time. And then, there it is, the same play again. So it's like, I guess that was the surprise aspect to it. But, it's not a great fucking play. I look at it trying to figure out another 4th down and goal situation plays on the goal line. I watched.
I'll tell you what, though, that Huntley played really well.
No, yeah,
he's a downgrade running the ball from Lamar, who is the best runner in football, but he was throwing really well, and they might not play Lamar for a week or two because Huntley's playing fine, and they'll take their time bringing him back.
And why not? It's like, why not give him the Daniel Jones treatment?
R.I.P. Daniel Jones.
Please.
Hey, man, we get to see Jake Fromm. This is an exciting.
Is that who we got?
That's who is they're suspecting is going to start is Jake Fromm.
Jake from Straight Farm.
Yep.
God almighty. This is,
you signed him off our practice squad.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. You guys have a big game coming up this weekend. Mm-hmm. Congratulations on winning this past weekend.
No Cole Beasley, though.
Yeah. What does he have? COVID, right?
He has COVID, and I know you're not on Twitter, but he is not in support of getting vaccinated. So
great. Yeah.
He will be gone at least 10.
Fantasy team too. Great. Again, it's like, I got to know some guy's fucking political stance on an issue to be able to fucking draft correctly. I'm done with this game.
He was a bit more outspoken than others, Steve.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent all season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right. So now he's got it. Is he dying or is he not dying?
No idea. I haven't heard any reports.
I think he's fine. He said the only reason he's not playing is the NFL's policy. So I get the impression that he's healthy enough to play.
But keep in mind, this is a guy that played through the playoffs with a broken hip.
Yeah.
So he could be near death and still be like, just put me out there. Prop me up and tell me what the count is, and I'll just start running.
Look, he's like your Wes Welker, dude.
Yeah.
He's a little vacuum over there. Give him the ball, let him run. But it sounds like, because he's not vaccinated, you got to get that's like a 10-day
It's a 10-day mandatory
so
quarantine away from the team. I don't know when they play their next game. I think he'll be back because he was added. What was that, on Monday he was added? So he should be okay to play the following week as long as he's testing negative.
Well, look, go ahead.
I think their next game's they play the Falcons next week. So fuck, I don't know if they even need him.
You need him. You need him this week because I think
Gabriel Davis has stepped up, Steve.
Patriots are going to be tough this week. They didn't look great. They didn't look great at all versus Indy, except for the fact that Carson Wentz probably almost handed them the game. You might be right about homeboy not being able to play fast enough when things get important. What's his name? The quarterback for
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones,
who currently has a 69% completion percentage.
When things speed up, he gets rid of the ball.
He's a rookie.
But I think
that's all it is. He's going to start
to make. I mean, he had a lot of turnover. They had 3 turnovers against a good defense, and for most of the game, they looked like they were not in the game. They were getting outplayed most of the game. The fourth quarter was a different story, the pickoff and fucking. But I think, to me, by far, Indy is a team I don't want to fucking play.
No,
because they are literally. I mean, like you said, they're going to be able to run the ball, and if you know they're going to do it, and they still do it, that's tough. And I don't know how you stop Jonathan Taylor right now. It seems like the offensive line is great. They'll get their center back, hopefully. That was fucking terrible what happened to him. And Patriots coming out of that, though, I think are going to be motivated to not put up another fucking egg. They were in that game at the end, but really they know, and Belichick knows they were never really in that game. They got a little lucky at the end. So
Mac Jones
is going to be
coming mistake, Steve. I don't know if you saw his press conference after that game.
Who?
Mac Jones.
What did he say after the game?
After the game, he said that we had a really lazy week of practice, which when you say that does not sit well in a locker room, because guys are like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was giving it 100%. We just lost the game. So he is showing his stripes as a very green quarterback. So people were very quick to say, oh, he's the next Tom Brady. And he copyrighted his number. Like it was.
He didn't walk. That was after Belichick talked to them. He's echoing what Belichick yelled at them in the fucking locker room. Yes, he did, dude.
He's followed this. The guys followed the script every week up until last week.
Dude, everybody was looking forward to that game. That was a big game for both teams. Very big game. The Patriots wanted to say, hey, we're the best team in the AFC. And essentially the Colts were playing for their lives at home. And both of those teams are coming off of buys. And, you watch that. It's like it was pretty much a one-sided game. And the offensive for the Colts was better than the offense for the Patriots. The defense was infinitely better than the defense for the Patriots. And the special team scored a fucking touchdown again. So, they were getting manhandled for most of that game. So you don't think Belichick went into that locker room after and was like, you guys, this is how you practice. This is, I expected this because you were coached poorly. You were let astray this week and you didn't practice hard. And this is what happens. And then Mac Jones goes over and, like a good quarterback, because he wants to be like Tom Brady, he echoes what his coach just yelled at everybody else. And now he's got cover for doing it, dude. He's got cover because he's only repeating what the coach said.
I think it's one thing if Bill Belichick says it. It's another thing if your teammate says it about you.
Bill Belichick said it in inside to his guys, and then Mac publicly. Jones went out. Because you don't think they would have asked Bill Belichick after, hey, Mac Jones said you guys had a shitty week of practice. Do you agree with him or not? You don't think like he would have been like, oh no, I had a great practice week. Of course he's going to agree because he's already said it. I think that what you're looking for. My point is, again, they're going to be 100% prepared. They're going to be over prepared, and they're going to make last week look like it was an anomaly. So it's going to be a good game, my point. And I hope that you guys bring your good game as well, unlike the last time, so that way, I mean, look, the situation will be vastly different. You'll be playing in what I assume was like decent conditions, right?
Well, let's check. I found a great website, Lucas, especially for DFS, NFLweather.com.
Okay.
And it breaks down the weather conditions. So currently we are looking at 39 degrees, overcast, and a 7 mile an hour wind.
Yeah, that's fine, dude. You guys, it was ridiculous. It cost me my
possible
entire
light rain in the morning and afternoon, but otherwise it's going to be a very normal, good day for football.
Good. Well, here's my prediction. I think you guys are going to win. I think this is going to be a signature game for Josh Allen. But I do think it's going to be a very close game. I don't even know. I don't care what the spread is. I think the game's going to be within 3 points. And I think it's going to take a game-winning drive to win that game. And I believe in your quarterback and your offense and the ability to get it done. But if you guys lay another egg and it looks like you can't stop or do what they're doing to you guys, like run the ball down your throat, it's over, dude. It's over. It's over.
Not over till it's over,
Yeah.
Steve.
Let me explain. You know how I know it's over? You know who has the worst record in football in the last 5 years? The New York Football Giants.
I disagree. I think the Jets have something to say about that.
No, the last 5 years, we have the worst record in football.
Are you sure? Because the Jets have
Yes.
been pretty bad for the last decade. And the Jaguars are right there too.
Go ahead.
The Lions? What about
Look
the
it up.
Lions?
The Lions. went
There
over
might be 4 or 5
15.
teams that have had worse records the last 5 seasons.
Okay, my point
Yeah,
is
no,
this.
the
I
Jets
know-
got you beat.
Yeah, thank you.
You're 23-57. They're 22-58.
Thank you.
Oh, that's because I thought they won this week. Oh,
No.
but
You're
we're
almost
1
there,
and 2.
Steve.
1 and
They
1 ain't real.
blew the game to the Dolphins. They had the Dolphins beat and they let the Dolphins back in and blew it, as the
What
Jets
is
do.
this? I know losers. I live in a land of them. Everyone around me roots for a loser. Everyone has.
Yes.
Everyone knows how to make it better. Do you understand? That's my point.
Tell you
is
how to
that
make it
when-
better.
when
Move
you-
out of New Jersey and burn
I
it all to
see
the
it.
ground.
It's over. If you guys can't do it, it's over. You have to move on and you have to cut out whatever's wrong. You have to fire your defensive coordinator. Whoever has, someone's got to go. Something's got to get fixed.
We're not
It could
firing
be-
Leslie.
Something.
You're saying that, like, again, they lost. They couldn't stop the run against the Patriots, but the Patriots only put up 14 points. You're acting like the Patriots put up 51 points and we absolutely got demolished. It was a close game down to the last drive. The
It was
offense couldn't put the ball in because of the conditions.
Yeah, I know, but the Patriots only scored 14 points because they only could do one thing. They only ran the football, which everyone knew they were going to do, including
Other
the
than
Bills.
that
And what
big
happened
run,
next.
3.5 yards a carry, not terrible. 14 points, not terrible. They
Did you guys-
didn't make adjustments fast enough, but that also is on McDermott. It's not just on the defensive coordinator. They got to
We'll break-
communicate, and they showed him talking, and they didn't do anything.
We'll get to predictions later on. Did you guys watch Tiger Woods and his son play golf this weekend?
Saw highlights, didn't watch. I'm sure you were just loving every second of it.
Every second, dude.
Mhm.
First of all, he looks amazing, Tiger Woods, to be back after getting his leg sawed off or almost cut off. It's ridiculous that the guy's even swinging a club like that. But yeah, his son is remarkable. And watching all these guys play, watching John Daly walk up 18 with a 2-stroke lead, burning a cigarette, half the cigarette hanging out of his mouth with his arm wrapped around his son, the smoke blowing into his fucking college son's face. What's better than that? There's nothing better than that. I love golf. I can't wait to the weather gets warmer. I'm going to be out there in January. I'm going to bring my clubs. And so, yeah, that was fun to see Tiger Woods, and they were kind of in it, not they really win that much, but they were in it. It was like, they played well. It wasn't like they were like, oh God, they should have cut that leg off, give him a stump. It was great. It was fun to watch. What else? What do you guys doing for
But
Christmas?
if
What?
he had lost his leg, that would probably rejuvenate his career. He'd go be a Paralympian and just dominate for another 25 years.
Oh, I don't know what the rules are on that. Can you?
Yeah, if you have your leg amputated and you have a fake leg, you're eligible for I would think.
What? I don't think you could play a professional sport and then just all of a sudden lop a piece of your body off and then continue it as like.
Technically, I think you could.
Okay, so you're telling me right now.
You chop
Did I
off your
fi-
arm. Get out there, Steve.
Okay, what if I'm one of the world's best marksmen, right?
Mhm.
Gun shooters, right? And I lose my arm right? And I instead of putting on a press, I put a gun on my arm, and I can just sit there and just fire away. And now I'm even better. I should be allowed to compete still.
Yeah, and
like
you're going to get a
RoboCop?
Disney movie out of it because that's inspirational. It's going to gross 230 million worldwide. I mean, that's a great story. That's what
How
they
about
want.
this?
They want stories.
What if they turned his leg into a putter, and he putted with his leg? Like they put the end of his leg, as Tiger Woods' leg was the end of it was a putter.
People
so he
would
walked,
tune in.
and you could. I mean, he was
Absolutely.
even more lethal with his leg putter than anything else.
Tim Burton would direct that movie.
Speaking of, I think old. Listen to this. I'm driving this week to my mom's, and it's a road that's it's like a. I'm trying to compare it. It's like a Magnolia Boulevard. 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going that way. Little divider in the middle divider. Every strip malls on both sides. And now because everyone lives out here, it's traffic, so you're not really going that fast, too fast. But every once in a while, it's a couple of lights of green, people start to move. Strip malls everywhere, because God forbid you can't get a bagel at every 1,000 feet in this fucking place I live in. So you need them. Strip malls, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden, the green light, I'm in the middle doing like 45, and in the middle of the median, there's this old man with a cane in the middle of the road, like just about to walk out, like Frogger in the middle of the road. So I was like, oh my God. So this guy's, I stop. I hope the guy behind me stops, and everyone slows down. He kind of backs up to the grass area. So he goes back to the median. So I was like, oh, I can't leave this guy over here. So I pull into the parking lot where where the strip mall was. And I get out and I go, and people had stopped at this point. He started crossing the road. So I went out and I helped him. And I go, hey, what's going on? How are you? And he goes, I'm trying to walk to the bus stop. I go, you're in the middle of the road. The bus stop's a little far away. I go, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to the diner to meet my girlfriend. I go, which diner? He goes, and he said, Lake Grove Diner. I go, I know exactly where it is. I'm going that way. I'll give you a ride. Right. So he jumps in my car. Right. He goes, he goes, I can't get in this car. This is too fancy. I go, what do you mean it's too fancy? He goes, this is a Telsa. I go, you mean, yeah, this is a Tesla. He goes, and he can't say it. He goes, Telsa. This is a Telsa. So he gets in the car. His name's Anthony. He gets in the car. I go, you got that, he has like a VFW hat on, like the war jacket, the old timer jacket. I go, oh, did you fight in the war? He goes, Korea, 1952 to 1955 or something like that. I go, damn. So we start talking about where he grew up. I go, and as we're talking, right, he's like coughing a little bit. He's got no mask on. I'm like, fuck. Right. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And so I go, where is your girlfriend? And he goes, she can't take care of me, so they don't let her live with me. He lives like an old person's home. So I go, where is she? How does she get to the diner? He goes, well, she walks there.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Sorry, could you say that again?
Shut up. Don't interrupt me. So I go, how does your girlfriend get to the diner? She walks. I go, really? I go, let's go pick her up. He goes, oh, this is unbelievable. So he goes, he tells me where she is. We pick her up. She's not ready. So we have to wait 10 minutes, right? And he's walking her back out to the car. And he's like, look at this Telsa. Look at this beautiful Telsa, right? So they get in the car. They can't even believe they're in this car. They're sitting there. They're talking about the war times. I go, which diner? They go, we want to go to Atlantic City. I go, I'm not taking you guys to Atlantic City. I go, do we want to go to the diner right over there? They go, fine, the diner. I take them to the diner, drop them off, let them inside, walk them inside, right? Go inside, came back out to my car. And my mom's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm a little late. She's like, what were you doing? I'm like, I think I just got coronavirus.
And that's where you're going to freeze right at the apex of the story.
What?
You just froze. We missed the entire climax of the thing. All the tension's gone. You had just told your mother you'd gotten coronavirus, and then you froze.
You didn't hear that anything after that?
After you said,
No.
I think I just got coronavirus. No.
Yeah.
So
That guy murdered his.
let's take two.
You didn't get the part where he murdered his girlfriend in the diner and then killed himself?
No. Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hang on
Merry
a second.
Christmas, everyone.
Is that real?
No. You
Okay.
idiot.
So what's the actual story?
I think I got coronavirus from this fucking guy. He coughed all over my
So
shit.
Steve,
I'm
why
trying
are
to do a
you
good deed
picking
here.
someone up on the side of the highway
Dude, I
during
didn't
peak
pick him up.
COVID, right before
didn't
you're
pick him-
going to see all of your old relatives?
Dude, I didn't pick him up because,
And then you went to pick up another person.
well, I'm going to make his bitch girlfriend walk. Are we going to pass her on the side of the road?
Okay, Steve, in 2021, you pick up a guy in army camo and you
He's
go,
not in camo.
okay,
He's
let's
wearing,
go
like,
pick
one of
up,
those VFW
let's go
jackets.
pick up your girl who turns out to be 3 other guys with a gun. I worry about you. You keep falling into these scams. It's going to
You
bite
didn't see
you
this
in the
guy.
ass.
You didn't see this guy, okay? First of all, I didn't stop because I was like, oh, I'm a great person. I have to fucking find out about this guy's life and put it all back
It
together.
sounds like.
I just didn't want to watch an old man get smashed to a billion pieces
Okay,
by
so
a kid
Steve,
texting and driving
Steve,
2 days before
call
Christmas.
him an Uber. Order him an Uber. Wait till it gets
Uber.
there. See ya.
I can't
Bye.
put an
I'm
old
gonna,
man
I'm
in
gonna
an
stay
Uber.
over here. Bye bye.
He gave me a hand job on the way too. Is that look, I try to do nice things around the holiday. What can I do? Him and his lady came in the car. I can't say no. Once I got him in the car, what am I going to say? Get out of the car. I think you might be diseased.
Well, a really nice person would have driven him to Atlantic City.
That's what they were kidding around about Atlantic City because they were in a fancy car in the back seat. They were like treating me like a limo driver. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, get out of my car. I'm not, you guys probably, one of them lives in a nursing home. Those places are filled with disease. I probably got herpes in my back seat because of these two
You have
animals.
stuff that you thought went extinct 50 years ago. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus. I'll be
The
with you in
COVID's
a couple of
getting
days, Lucas. But then I thought, I'm like, he can't have corona. This guy, it would kill this guy. This guy, if you saw
probably,
this
no,
man,
dude, you have a new variant called like the Tulsa variant. Congratulations, you're patient 0.
I didn't even know we fought in a war with Korea. Did you know that? Did you know? I thought
Oh,
he was
yeah.
making
Yeah, it was
up.
called the Korean War.
I thought I go, what war? He goes, the Korean War. I go, yeah, I think you mean World War II, buddy. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, sure. This guy's a little loopy. Korean War. You may want to check your facts. We fought in the Vietnam War, sir. So maybe you got your Asians mixed up there. Anyway, look, we all did great things for people this week. And the bottom line is I paid my dues. I'm not making a Pornhub video, and that's it.
That
And
was what this was all about. You giving an old man a ride gets you out of paying your debt to the league. Because you doing one good thing for a stranger does not negate the fact that you're doing a shitty thing to your 11 league mates.
I did not do a good thing for an old man to get in good favor with my league mates and get me out of punishment. I did that before I even knew I had punishment. Now I'm begging for forgiveness, trying to ask.
You created the punishment. I would never. You think my wife wants to see me on Pornhub?
I don't even, she's going to fucking lose her mind. I have already been a big enough embarrassment to this family. Do you understand the things? Do you understand the things that I've done to this family name? That even if you on a simple Google search, the looks you'll get on page 2 or 3 about me and my family. Do you understand? If this is page 1, and it will be, I can't do this. I put them through enough. Can I do it under an alias?
Yeah.
Can I wear a luchador mask?
Yeah,
You got to
sure.
come up with a port. You got to come up with a porn name, Steve.
Yeah, we wouldn't ask you to put Steve Ranazizi up there.
No, it's too hard to spell. People need to search it.
No,
More
they
like
don't need
use-
to search it.
Look, we're just trying to make this podcast go as viral as possible, and you're not
Yeah.
carrying your weight right now.
I know. I think I might name this Al Qaeda. Please come recruit me, so that nobody like the thing.
Dude,
like,
Al Qaeda watches
porn now,
Camp
too. Government
recruitment
listening.
seminar. This video is called Al Qaeda Camp Recruitment Seminar Local. Look, I guess I lead by example. and I'll have to do it. And I don't want to do it, and I don't even know how I'm going to do it. I don't even know how to upload something to Pornhub. So that means, Lucas, guess what? Guess who's going to be editing something together that you don't even want to do it, and you have to fucking do it.
I'll do what I got to do.
Yeah, he's got free time.
Yeah, you
Plenty of
sent me the
tissues.
video.
Plenty of tissues. Got some lotion behind him, so he's good to go.
Yeah, I'll be quarantined for the next week, baby.
I don't even know what I'm going to do. I wonder if we film
you don't have to. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
What you said before the season started was, and the person who comes in last will have to upload a video to Pornhub, can be as sexy or non-sexy as you're comfortable with doing. So you can do whatever you want, but it's got to go up on the account. We're not asking you to go, jerk off in a circle with Ari and Boone and
don't
the
ruin
guy
my
that you
ideas
picked up from the diner.
Let the cat out of the bag, please.
We're not asking you to shove a hot dog up your ass. Okay. That's already been done.
Can we just release that? Look.
There is video of that, isn't there?
I don't know. I doubt it because I remember Ari flipped out and lost his mind.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll figure something out. This is not going to go
for those who don't know what we're referencing. A few years back at the All Things Comedy Festival, Steve here shoved a hot dog up his ass.
Can we put it a little more into context?
In front of about 100 people. This was after he made out with 4 strange men and then depanced himself, turned around and shoved a hot dog right up his ass.
Because I lost the bet on
Beefy.
Punch Drunk.
Beefy.
I lost the bet.
Foot
I had to
long.
pull out a bag of bets. I had to act in a 2-page gay porno that Ryan O'Neal and Ari wrote. And it was terrible. And it was not, I don't think it was recorded. And thank goodness, I don't think it was,
but then deleted. We had cameras set up and it was recorded. Everything was captured.
Once the nudity started. And again, little do we know that TBS and TNT were there and they were like looking to do something with us as a thing. And so that completely soured their taste. It doesn't matter. All stuff we wish we had known beforehand.
Yeah.
Look, we are where we are. Okay. And the point is I have to do something again, something I wish, but my big mouth got me into trouble again. And that's what it is. My big mouth gets me into trouble. And
my little mouth gets me into trouble and it usually just costs me a bottle of wine.
I don't like, I'm going to have to put something up my ass again, something inside me again. This is not the first time. This sucks. You would think after the first time I had to put something in my ass that I would have learned.
Yeah.
But no. I think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. Can I tell you that?
I think the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl if it's not the Bills.
Okay. Packers have a good defense, and I think obviously
that defense is emerging, and you saw what they did against the Ravens. Now the Ravens were triple covering Devontae Adams, literally 3 guys just specifically for him. And you have enough in, the backup tight end and MVS and Lazard that, and then, checking down to Aaron Jones and you have AJ Dillon, that Rodgers will find somebody if it's not Adams. So go ahead and triple cover that guy because I've got 4 more guys that are good enough to get points on the board.
I think, all right, let's make some picks there this weekend. Some holiday picks. Get into it.
Got a game tonight.
Are you guys doing what?
Yeah.
We've got a game. It's Thursday.
Thursday night.
Oh my God.
Got the Titans and the 49ers. 49ers are road favorites traveling across the country to the Tennessee Titans, who are getting Julio Jones and AJ Brown back.
Ooh.
And giving 3 points. They're getting 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Question: do you think either of those receivers makes it through the whole game?
No. Julio Jones, absolutely not. AJ Brown, maybe. Julio Jones, no. Because this is a soft tissue, and that's just going to bug him the rest of his life.
I think the Niners are probably playing some of the best football in the second half of the season. And I think that they remarkably cover this game. But I don't think we should take it. That's not
no. We're not going to take it. And then we have 2 Christmas Day games. We have the Browns visiting the Packers, and we have the Colts visiting the Cardinals.
Colts all day long.
And
on the money line.
they're getting a point.
I have Arizona getting a point.
I have the opposite. I have the Colts +1.
Wow. Well, I like the Colts +3. So till it gets to there, I think the Colts are
Cardinals-
Colts are on the
Arizona
money
can't-
line.
they have problems with the run, and I mean there's no one doing any better right now. So run, Rudolph.
It'll be interesting to see how they come back from that. I mean, they didn't just lose to the Lions; they got embarrassed. The Lions dominated. The Lions.
What was that? That was
the
one
Lions are
game
the
that
most
was like, what the
competitive
fuck?
bad football team I've ever seen. They're 2-11-1 now.
Yeah,
They are probably the best 2-11-1 team ever. I mean, I love their coach. They play now. The caveat for the Lions this week, which is why we should look at that game, is, and it might be an easy one to take on the money line. Goff just went on the COVID list, so it might be Boyle starting at QB.
Oh, Boyle. That sucks. No, thank you.
Oh wow, yeah, a lot of these games. Are you seeing all the games? Because I'm not seeing a lot of them pulled off of.
I pulled up ESPN just to get all the games, and they have a spread on there too. But I don't know where they're pulling their spread from.
Yeah,
That's why
so this
I got
may-
the -1.
I mean, this may be a week where I'm going to write these down, and if you want to talk us
Yeah.
through ESPN, and I'll make the bet once all the games are on the board, because I'm seeing 8 games right now because everyone has COVID.
Yeah, so we did the Christmas games. Sunday you got Lions, Falcons,
It's money
Ravens,
line.
Bengals, and this has got the Bengals getting 3.
That's the game I'm
Or
looking
giving
at too.
3. Sorry, giving 3, -3.
Do you see what Joe Burrow said about the Cincy nightlife?
Yeah,
It's a very
I
good
love it.
quote. Yeah.
Great. Who gives a shit? Stay home. That's what they should be doing. I've been to Cincinnati. There's nothing to do.
It shuts down
Um,
at like 5 there.
Is what's his name? Lamar Jackson playing on Sunday?
So he didn't practice yesterday. It's still too early. It hasn't been reported if he was practicing today, but honestly, I'm leaning towards them just going with Huntley again. He played so well last week, and why rush Lamar back if he's not 100%? And Huntley's throwing the ball well. Lamar is not. So you may have a better chance of winning and keeping up in a game that's going to probably be high scoring if you have Huntley out there.
Do you have a passion for that? I mean, I kind of think the Ravens. I mean, the Bengals.
I tend to not like, because I usually get them wrong, division games, especially ones that are very high stakes, because who knows what the hell could happen.
Well, then let's talk about high stake division games then. Bills and Patriots.
Oh, Bills
I know
all the
you
way.
got-
Give me the Bills.
Now
on
here's
the
what I
money
got.
line.
I got New England giving 2.5 points.
Yeah.
So Buffalo on the money line to win the game.
Buffalo's
play-
winning this. Buffalo's winning this. I push all my chips in. Go Bills.
Okay.
Bills by 40.
I wouldn't say that.
Josh Allen last year destroyed this team in Foxborough. So
They
he's not
just
intimidated.
Yep, they just played 2 weeks ago. It was pretty one-sided. So anyway, let's not give 40.
Not
Let's
one-sided. Not
It was
one-sided.
very much one-sided. It
Bills
was
had 2
disappointing.
drives at the end. The weather, God was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a little bit of adversity, and then you can go to Foxborough in 2 weeks and kick the shit out of them because you are the better team.
All right. Believe that. I will also take the Bills. I'll just take them on the money line. No need to give away points. In the battle of futility, Jaguars, Jets, does anyone want to touch this thing with a 10-foot pole? The Jaguars fucked me last week.
So
We thought for sure they'd come fight for their coach.
Yeah, the Jaguars, who didn't have a coach, are now going to play the Jets, who will not have a coach because Saleh
Will not have a
tested
coach.
positive yesterday. So
Yep.
I think it's the special teams coach or somebody lower down on the totem pole will be calling the game for the Jets. That's an ugly game. I don't see it on BetDSI currently. What's the spread?
Oh boy, it's a even pick 'em, ladies and gentlemen.
And is the game
choose your poison.
Is the game in New Jersey or Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jersey.
It's in New. And I honestly think. I think I would go with the Jags again.
Oh boy,
I would go
I was
back
gonna
to the
say
well.
Jets.
I would go back to the well. The Jets can't stop the run. They're going to run James Robinson again. Jets can't stop the pass. Maybe Laviska Shenault gets involved. And now you have a full week of practice for Trevor Lawrence with a guy who isn't Urban Meyer. And the Jags defense is solid, and Zach Wilson is not. And he lost Corey Davis. He lost Elijah Moore. I mean, you're rolling out Tevin Coleman as your
I bought that album,
running
Tevin
back.
Coleman's album in 1999. I bought that album. Fucking sweet album.
So I honestly would go back to the well and take the Jags again, even though they fucked us and they probably will fuck us again. I just think that
Leave it alone. Pick 'em game in a toilet bowl. Who gives a? You want to lose our parlay and not get Lucas paid on Christmas
the
week?
only
because
caveat to this is
we picked the toilet bowl
they're
wrong?
both now, because the Lions won. Those two teams are now playing for the first overall pick, so they may try to throw the game.
Of course they will. They don't give a fuck, and then they're gonna blow that too. What about the Rams and the Vikings?
It's gonna be high scoring. I'd stay away though. I can't call that.
I mean, I like the Rams. I think
It's
the
not
Rams.
on the BetDSI right now.
Well, they got Rams giving 3 points.
Question for both of y'all: who do you
Yo.
think is more of an MVP candidate, Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor.
Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
No, you
Yeah,
didn't say it's
he was a
Jonathan
favorite.
Taylor.
If you're
I'm talking
picking,
positional
if you're
players.
picking, okay, positional players, Jonathan Taylor, that entire offense, the Cooper Kupp, the offense does run through him, but you have all these other weapons. Carson Wentz has been just fine. Jonathan Taylor is going to smash records. Granted,
And
he
he's
gets that
also
extra
going to
game.
eat
but
up
he's-
the fucking clock. He's
Yeah.
going to get the job done. He's always going to get you a first down. I mean, I get Cooper Kupp's putting up incredible numbers. They are MVP type numbers, but it's almost like the way you had Otani and Vlad Guerrero this year. It's like, yeah, they both had seasons they could have won, but like one of them's doing shit that's like ridiculous. If I mean, Jonathan Taylor could get 2,000 yards probably, right? And already has the record for he gets 20 touchdowns too. So
The Kupp could get 2,000 yards too. That's the craziest part.
Yes. And Kupp's going to
Yes.
win the wide receiver triple crown for sure. But Jonathan Taylor is going to win the running back triple crown. But I think the question is, if you take one out of the offense, who is going to affect the team more? Is it going to be Kupp or is it going to be Taylor? And I think Taylor, hands down, is the most important.
yeah, because you still
Kupp
have
will
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford still has to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
You could have me go back there and hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor and still win a fucking football game. So,
Yes.
we just solved that. What about, speaking of shit, the Giants and the Eagles? Now, homeboys got a lot to play for. They can still make the playoffs.
So
And the
the
Giants will be
Eagles,
playing,
Eagles head
Jacob Fromm.
coach. The Eagles head coach tested positive as well, so he
Who
will
gives
not
a
be
shit?
coaching.
Did Joe
but
Judd test positive?
But Steve, that means that Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew, all of the key players for the Eagles have probably been in close contact with the coach, and we're waiting to hear the news if they test positive, because you could be playing an Eagles team that is in the same situation as the Washington football team was, and the Browns.
We will still lose. Okay? Until Dan Gettleman dies of COVID, which I pray, which is what I want for Christmas. Which is what I want for Christmas, Santa. And don't tell me I can't have it.
The views of Steve Ranazizi do not reflect the thoughts and views of the
Death
entire podcast
upon
and the All
Gettleman.
Things Comedy Network.
Death upon Gettleman. Until the special teams coach from the Indianapolis Colts is the president of our team and general manager of operations. That's the only guy I trust in football. I trust him implicitly. He did it again this week. He used to work for fucking Bill Belichick. He was a special teams assistant under Joe Judge. And then picked out a flaw that Belichick didn't see, said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to shoot this gap. They did it. He scored a touchdown, and everyone went crazy. And his wife screamed and held her kids up like they had just won the head coach lottery, which they did. That motherfucker's going to be a head coach. You heard me. That's the long-term bet. The next 2 years, that guy's the head coach of a football team.
He might
And
go next year.
hopefully-
Chicago probably will
he's
get him.
running. He's running the New York Giants football operation. The whole fucking thing. Drafting, beginning to end. Put it all in this kid's fucking pocket. It's better than what we got going on right now. And
You
so
know,
we're going to lose again.
I think
We're gonna
he's
lose.
going to look at, if we're talking about him possibly going and coaching a team, he's going to be looking at where Rodgers and or Russell Wilson go and probably go there. I don't
Please.
think he wants to walk into a Daniel Jones situation.
Daniel Jones is dead. I killed him.
Denver is ready. Denver's ready to win once they get a quarterback and a coach who understands how to use his best players.
We'll get to them in a minute.
He made a comment that he should have had a few more all pros on his team. And it's like, yeah, maybe if you just gave Javonte Williams the fucking football, he would be an all pro and he'd be leading the league in yards. But instead you have 51-year-old Melvin Gordon, who to his credit is playing decent, in there to take half the snaps, which is a joke.
Someone's in trouble. It's the Buccaneers. I'll tell you why. Because without Godwin and without Leonard Fournette, that means Tom Brady's going to have to throw the ball a little further downfield and have to hold on to it for much longer of a period of time. And those things do not add up well for his success. There's no more dumping. I mean, I get that. Who they signed down there? Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell is not the answer. Le'Veon Bell was quoted as saying he would rather be boxing because I think he was supposed to eventually fight one of the Pauls. So he's obviously not, his head and heart are not in football. And that was insurance. So now you got to go with Ronald Jones, who was in the doghouse for fumbling and dropping the football when you pass it to him. And then Keyshawn Vaughn, who was supposed to be the pass catching back, but we saw, did you watch that whole game? Brady threw it to him, hit his hands like they were frying pans, and Brady's just throwing tablets, throwing temper tantrums. Like they have a lot of issues. I mean, I don't think I've seen 3 of the most important offensive pieces go down in one game. That was crazy.
We woke up Sunday morning and we're at breakfast and Johnny goes, well, out of the blue, he goes, well, if there's one thing I know, it's that the Saints are going to beat the Bucks today, and just goes back to eating breakfast. I go, what the fuck?
You should have put money on it, man. If he does that again, you throw the house on that.
Yeah.
Go, what? Yeah, he goes, the Saints are going to beat the Bucks this weekend.
Oh,
I know. What about the Bears and the Seahawks? Got any feelings on those cunts? I mean, I the Bears that's a disaster, and Nagy's done. So,
but
and the Seahawks are kind of in the same boat too.
Fields has shown some promise once you get rid of Nagy. He could be a good quarterback in the league. The guy can run. He has a really good arm. He's starting to trust it a little bit more, and he's starting to throw into tighter windows. The Seahawks Justin Fields. Justin Fields.
I'd like you to meet Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen, I'd like you to meet Justin Fields. Hi, what do you guys have in common? Well, we were first-round draft picks that the next year the coach got fired, a new coach came in and went, I love being here, I love this job, but this guy's not exactly who I want, so I'm going to get another guy. They don't have the defense that they can't. Yeah, they don't have a defense anymore. They have to break that apart, so they're going to trade for draft pieces and go get a rookie quarterback, another rookie quarterback, to get a couple more years on that rookie contract. Mark my fucking words. And Justin Fields will be Josh Rosen.
The rookie quarterback class is not good, and they're going to find a coach who wants to develop Justin Fields because he is so much more talented physically.
How many more years is that Manning kid's ready? 4 or 3?
It'll be a few years, yeah.
That's it. That's what I do.
I think Justin Fields is going to be fine, and next year will be very exciting for whoever gets to coach him.
The Giants give up one of those first-round draft picks for Russell Wilson. We get him for 3 years until that Manning kid's ready. Russell Wilson, obviously, that last year is going to have to tank it after we win back-to-back Super Bowls so that we get the first-round pick and then first pick, and then we get that new Manning, and we're off to the fucking races again. Back to a dynasty. Steelers and Chiefs. Chiefs giving -8 to the Steelers, which at home, I guess that makes sense. But Steelers, I mean, look, you talk about like just everyone. It's a difference. Like coaches making something out of shit. Everyone's team is shit. Everyone's team sucks. Mm-hmm. The Giants on paper are no worse than the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. But they make something out of nothing. Why? Because Mike Tomlin knows how to do it. Yeah. And the Giants don't. And it's a goddamn travesty. But they hang around in these games. If they didn't get a tie to the Detroit Lions, that game was unbelievable. They should have fucking lost that game by 1,000 points. They would be in first place.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the Chiefs are gonna, win by 1 million, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna win by 1 million. They're gonna win by maybe 3 or 4.
Well, that game's currently not listed on BetDSI because we don't know the status of Tyreek. We don't know the status of Kelsey. And then who knows?
Yeah.
Mahomes was out and about with Kelsey without a mask. They were hanging out. They were having drinks.
They
Look
took
Look at
separate
Ryan
cars, though.
Simpson's Instagram account. He's got a picture with both of them.
Yeah. So it's to be determined if Mahomes makes it through the week without testing positive. And you're hearing it here first. We're breaking it here on What's the Odds. Adam Schefter can suck it.
He can suck it, dude. Suck it hard. Merry
By the
Christmas,
way-
Adam. Happy Hanukkah.
So if those guys are out, I mean, they'll push the game because you can't have a week of football without Patrick Mahomes everywhere. But in a world where they play that game and you don't have Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey, fuck yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. I don't care what the spread is. Give me the Steelers.
I don't care either. Give me the fucking Steelers, too.
I'm really rooting for the Steelers. I think they're 7-8-1, or yeah.
Yeah, they're 7-6-1.
Okay,
7-6-1.
I want them to finish 8-8-1 and have the most average season that's ever been done in the NFL.
There is no. It's like they didn't even snap the ball. They started at 0 and they ended at 0.
Mhm.
Broncos Raiders.
What do you think of
This
Drew Lock
one-
starting? Drew Lock has a cannon, though.
Yeah, Drew Lock has a cannon, and he's not going to be Teddy Two Gloves just dumping the ball. So you might actually see the receivers do something. Judy's great, so is Sutton, and Tim Patrick can catch the football. And then you got 2 good tight ends, and you got Juggernaut Javante just running people over. So I really like the Broncos coming into
Wrong.
Vegas.
Wrong. Did
We're
you
not
watch
going to
that
have
Raiders
Waller.
game?
We're not going to have Waller.
Did you watch that Raiders game?
I did.
Carr almost gave the game away by throwing that pick. They thought the game was over. The defense stops 3 in a row. They get the ball back. They march down, and they get the field goal to win. They let them back into the game, and they won. They breathed life back into the Raiders.
Okay.
And the Raiders now
Steve,
believe it can still get into the playoffs. And the Broncos are licking their wounds after Teddy Bridgewater. And the Raiders are going to win this football game. Why? Because Cena, our fan, lives in Las Vegas. I know she'd be devastated if they lost. And that's why I think it's going to happen.
Look, Cena got to enjoy last week, but let's look at the reality of the situation. 1, it was Cleveland. 2, they were on their 3rd string quarterback. They had most of their guys on COVID, including most of the key defensive players. So
Yeah.
the Raiders were playing a practice squad Cleveland team, and they almost lost. So the Broncos are a better team. They have more talent. That defense is stout. And all they're going to have to do is make sure that Hunter Renfrow doesn't catch 15 passes. They're going to win this game.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I'd like to bet my Christmas on it.
Well, what does Jonah say? I think we need to ask Jonah who he thinks is going to win that game, and that's where we
It's
should put
fucking
the money.
school. They don't let them out on Christmas. They're like Ebenezer Scrooge. They're still in
Wait,
school.
they're still in school, and it's the 23rd?
Yeah, they got a full day today.
What the
Full
fuck?
day. I know, it's crazy. Should I get him out? I can't text him. He doesn't have his phone with him. Jonah, Broncos, Raiders. Raiders at home. It's a push them. I like the Raiders. You like the Broncos. You
I the
decide.
Broncos. Lucas, you are the deciding factor.
I like the Broncos, too. I think the Raiders just need the season to end. It's been hell for them.
It
I
has
love-
been. That's why they're going to
Yeah.
win.
But I will say this, as you know, Derek Carr is not an elite quarterback, but give that man all the credit in the world because he's had everything happen to him. And not just this season, but it seems like every season he has bad shit happen. And that guy just shows up and he still plays
He's
1,000%. That guy is a fucking warrior.
Not the best decision maker, but you know,
Hopefully he parlays this and he becomes a coach somewhere. Because that guy, dude, I would follow that guy in a battle.
the Dolphins and the Saints can go. Dolphins and the Saints can go fucking suck my dick. I don't care about either one of those teams. Cowboys, Washington. That's a game I'm interested in. Obviously, I'd love to see the Cowboys lose. Looks like Heineke's going to start. I think he cleared COVID protocol, so he's going to play.
Yeah.
They're giving Dallas. Dallas is giving 10.5. Now they are home, but I mean,
that offense has been struggling the last few weeks, and they've had good matchups.
And Washington, their defense, even losing what's his name, the defensive end, they still are a great defense.
Pretty well.
So I wouldn't mind taking Washington with the points, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they'll definitely stay within 11 points.
Yeah, I would agree.
Thank you. Seemed pretty fucking reasonable. It's nice.
It is.
All right.
But so I don't know what we've agreed on and what we haven't agreed on, but right now I've written down the Colts money line, the Bills money line, and Washington plus 10.5.
Okay. Colts money line.
So I can throw the Broncos in there.
Bills money line. What else did you have? Take the Eagles on the money line. Take them.
I don't know, man. We don't know what's going to happen with the COVID. If the COVID spreads through Philly's locker room, what if they had to start their third string, their practice squad QB?
I thought we liked the Steelers too. The Steelers too, right?
Yeah, but that game's not on my thing. What were they at?
Steelers were +8.
+8
on the road.
Yeah, I just don't know with Philly and New York, and that's a really bitter rivalry too. New York's going to show up for that game and play spoiler.
All right, can we do the Washington football team within 11?
I have Washington plus 10.5, but I think the Giants and the Eagles are more of a rivalry than the Cowboys and football team.
Fine.
And I just don't know with COVID what's going to happen with the Eagles.
All right. Well,
we've had this happen now where we put in these bets and we finish the podcast and it's 10:30 in the morning Pacific time, and then by noon it's like, okay, these 14 guys have COVID and this guy's injured, and then it fucks everything.
Well, yeah, put them in when it's the appropriate time.
Yeah, so I have the Colts money line, the Bills money line, Washington whatever their line is, Broncos whatever their line is, and Pittsburgh whatever their line is. And I'll put them in on Saturday once we find everything out. And we may have to give points here or there, but I can buy them and win Lucas some money.
Are you guys doing anything cool for Christmas or no?
Besides, just going to the in-laws. He has COVID. What are you talking about?
What are you gonna do?
No, I'm going out, Steve.
Go suck some face, dude.
Hey, by the way, Amazon sells ivermectin. Can you guess how much 5 tablets are?
5 tablets?
It's probably over $100 per tablet.
It's only $20. Sorry.
Ooh.
For all 5?
Yeah, $4 a tablet. You can buy 90 days worth for $363.
Get all of it.
Yeah. Get it while the getting's good. Get that Amazon Prime. Get it tomorrow.
Do it, dude. You're gonna need it.
And then be out and about for Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy everything. We'll talk to you guys next week before the new year, but have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your time with your families.
Breaking. Taysom Hill now has COVID, so that makes that Saints game a little more interesting.
I come in the face of the Saints and the Dolphins. I bukkake them.
I have to like the Dolphins now that there's no Taysom Hill.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all get what you really want for Christmas. I know you know what I want. Get them to die of COVID. I hope all of you get what you want and you deserve. Lucas, feel better, please. Anything you guys want to add? You're not doing any dates this week, right? No one's doing anything. I'm going. Oh, by the way, New Year's Eve, if you still don't have plans and you live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Summit Comedy Club. There are still tickets available. There's shows Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And New Year's Eve, obviously, I think is Friday night. So come to one of those shows. Tickets at steverenaseasy.com. Anything else? We're good? You guys good?
Good, man. Looking forward
Merry
to football.
Christmas, everyone. Ho, 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 you bitches. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.